Hi, welcome to the Teenager program. Today we are going to talk about how teenagers act and how it is to be one. I would like to represent Are and Salen.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for letting me be a part of the show.
So, you know what we are going to talk about?
Yeah, teenagers, right?
Yeah.
How to be a teenager.
And I'm going to ask you some questions. And the first one is, do you think some of the teenagers act as they act?
Well, I think that one factor that impacts how they act quite directly is how much they sleep, because teenagers are quite like children because they need 9 hours sleep every night. It varies a bit from teenager to teenager, but 9 hours is the rule.
Yeah.
And in the teen environment, it's considered as cool to go to sleep late, like 1 a.m. for an example. And then you just have, for example, 6 or 7 hours to sleep. And it's proven that if you sleep too little, many nights consecutive, it's like being drunk in school. Your reaction time gets slower and so on.
Yeah.
So I think that's a factor for also jumping mood, and sometimes they get mad and sometimes they get very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so your sleep actually affects how you do it.
How
in
you
school.
behave.
Yeah.
And how you do it in school.
I think an important factor is hormones as well, because every teenager is facing puberty, and puberty causes new hormones to develop in your body, such as growing more hair, facial hair, pubic hair,
More hair. Yeah.
hair, and as well as growth, muscle development, and so on. But some of the by-effects are that you think of the adults as dumb people and arrogant people, and you think that you are a lot better than them.
Yeah.
So I think hormones can also affect your mood.
So that's actually a real theory.
Yeah, that's a big
Okay.
that's a more
Well,
theoretical.
I don't consider it as one, but okay.
Okay. I think that being a teenager is an important phase of life, and it is a period of time where you actually learn who you are.
Yeah.
And
But wait, can I please interrupt?
Yeah, of course.
I've had many days where I haven't slept at all, and that has not affected my mood at all. So can you please tell me?
We don't have time for that right now, okay?
Oh, you're right. We only have.
Later on outside, okay?
Yeah, we can talk about it
okay.
outside. Yeah,
Okay.
no problem.
I think it's also in that period when you're a teenager, you are vulnerable, and you're also very unstable, and therefore I think you also get easily affected by other people, which can be very dangerous in your future life.
Good point.
Hmm?
It's an interesting
Yeah,
point.
thank you. So, is it anything more to say in this?
Well, I would like to discuss our theories, but can we do that?
No,
I think
we have to jump to the other
Okay. Part.
question.
Yeah.
The next question is, most teenagers find themselves confused. Can you relate to this?
Well, I would interpret that quite directly and jump right on sexual orientation. I think many teenagers are quite stressed because some of them are, of course, gay or bisexual or lesbian. I think if I had been gay, I think it would be hard to share it with my friends and family.
Yeah.
Also because it's a very new time for us when we experience emotional barriers and have to break through each other's barriers. And I think that many people in their early phases of puberty are not certain if they are gay or not. So I think that causes a lot of confusion, as well as the education and the pressure our parents lay on us. Because at every dinner table or family dinner I go to, my uncle and my aunt and my father, they always talk about my education. What do you want to do when you grow up, Are? And so on. I have no clue, to be honest. So I feel a lot of pressure and confusion because of the pressure. Because I really don't know what I want to choose, and sooner or later I have to choose one. And the adults keep reminding me on that. So I get very confused of what reputation I want and which job I want in the future.
I would like to add that most teenagers are confused mostly because they're in a phase where they don't know if they should consider themselves as children or as an adult, because being seen as a child means that you easily get frustrated. The adults don't rely on you too much, and they don't give you certain what's it called again? Certain
Explain.
And they think you aren't smart enough, or what do you mean?
no certain
Explain.
choices, you know.
Opportunities.
No. Certain. Holy fuck. Död alltså.
Okay, go on.
Okay, what I think is that it's kind of a problem when teenagers get different opinions about things from everywhere. We get opinions from our father, mother, news, friends,
School,
and school,
Yeah.
teachers. So when we, for example, talk about sex or something, your parents will most likely tell you something different from what the teachers tell you. So you really don't know what is the right thing.
So I think
I remember the word
different
to say.
sources can cause confusion in what we think is right and what we think is wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe morally and in school.
Yeah.
I don't know which source to rely on.
Yeah.
So I think it creates that confusion.
Yeah, and maybe uncertainty too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I found the word I was looking for.
That's really great.
I'm very happy for you.
Now I forgot it.
You forgot it?
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, responsibilities.
Responsibilities, okay.
Okay.
You feel pressure and get confused because you get different responsibilities.
Okay,
and,
now
and sometimes
let me refer the whole thing, okay? Being a teenager means that you're in the middle of a phase where you still can be considered as a child, but rather want to be an adult. But that's according to me. My people have different opinions on that, but I certainly want to be preferred as an adult, because that way I can then I can
the adult tasks and discuss with adult table.
then I can prepare for my future and become independent.
Yeah.
So
But many people are afraid of growing up too fast.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to keep the balance between being a child and having fun, like a teen, and being a grown up and being mature.
So you can do both.
Yeah.
When you are with your friends, you can be more
Relaxed and
Yeah.
and childish.
And when you are at a what should I say, party, if I could say, I say that with
Party, drugs and
behave
girls, yeah.
with your father and
Okay.
mother and your family, you should also be able to be more mature to actually. So you have different roles
Roles.
in different kinds of situations where you have to handle it.
Yeah. Should we go on to the next question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next question is about why does some teenagers often feel lonely?
Well, I think that the teen period is quite emotional. We get hormones that give us unstable mood, and we're quite unexperienced with dealing with these feelings.
Mm.
And I think that things like sexual attractions and emotional attractions, I think that since we are in the phase where we experience it for the first time, we create very strong emotional bonds very fast, and when they break, I think it hurts very badly. So I think that we feel sometimes that we are quite little in a big emotional world, and maybe also in a big industrial world.
What are we talking about now?
And the other
How we often feel lonely.
question where you feel
Lonely?
Yeah.
lonely. Yes.
Some of the things that make you feel lonely is that you feel different from all the others. For example, abuse from your parents. You'll start asking yourself questions, why this is happening to me?
Or even
Well,
homosexual.
Yes,
Also.
of course, homosexuality and bisexuality and so on. It makes you think of yourself as different from all the other people. And I said that creates questions. Why am I the only one thinking of this right now? Why is this only happening to me? Why don't I see this happen to anyone else? And that makes you feel different from all the other people around you.
Yeah.
So that can also cause depression. And children abuse can cause depression to the children and traumatizing effects on the child.
I think it also is a problem that when a teenager thinks that everyone around him is completely different and he's like the special one. But I think everyone has something that they don't like.
Yeah.
And I think they are the only one that have a problem. They feel lonely without being lonely in the reality at all.
Well, I think that teenagers feel different because they struggle with their problems and they think it's a bit embarrassing to talk about it with other people. So I think that all teenagers struggle with the same problems, but they deal with them on their own. And I think that most teens don't realize that they have the same problems, and I think it creates a lot of uncertainty and the emotion of feeling alone. I also thought that what you said about depression was quite interesting because it's proven that many teenagers experience depression and are depressed, like the disease.
When you isolate yourself from other people, you start to feel lonely, and that loneliness evolves to become becomes depression, and you become anxious about everything. So staying away from people and isolating yourself from people can be a bad thing,
Yeah.
and also fatal.
I think that what you said there with distinguishing yourself from other people, I think it's a bit like when you have these strong emotions, I think you want to rest and keep yourself away from the rest of the world and away from your emotions. And when you keep your emotions in, it causes depression. So I think this is quite the main problem that causes depression by teenagers.
Yeah. I think it also is a point that when you are in that teenage phase, you often are vulnerable, and some teenagers also get bullied at school, and when they get bullied, they also start to feel lonely. Because they think that everyone hates him, and everything with him is wrong, and everything with the other ones is completely right. But it isn't.
He's just like a normal human. He has
Yeah.
his meanings, and other people have
People
their
are different.
meanings.
But
People have
People are
different.
different, yeah.
And people have different meanings. That's
how the world
that's what teenagers don't get. People are different, and people have different meanings and
Yeah.
aspects of things.
Every
but,
teen struggles to be like everyone else, but the thing is that every teen is different, and
Yeah.
everyone struggles with the same
You
thing.
have to find yourself.
Yeah. That's the today's encouragement. Find yourself
Find yourself and
Yeah.
know what you
and
want
find
to
your
do.
yourself.
personality. Follow your way.
And
Follow
learn
your
from your
things.
mistakes, kids.
Don't do drugs.
Don't just
Stay home.
stay sober.
Stay home. Stay sober.
Yeah.
Okay. We have to jump to the next question, and that is teenagers tend to undergo a lot of pressure. Can you relate to this?
Definitely. I think that body pressure is one of the most one of the things that I struggle with the most, because I exercise very often now, and I began exercising because I wanted a better body to have to have exact the same body, or a body that's just as good as everyone
Yeah.
else's body, or even better, like muscular, and that I can achieve
Athletic.
great results
Yeah.
in tests and so on, in gymnastics and so on. So the body pressure is quite important there, I think, in our little society of teenagers, because everyone else also wants you to have the perfect body to fit in, and since we all struggle with fitting in, we have to have the great body too. So that's one kind of pressure I deal with every day. And I exercise a lot now, and I started because of that. Also, because I'm a boy, we teenage boys, we push borders a lot, and we tend to be a bit more tough than we are. We think we can do everything and conquer the world, and we really can't. So sometimes many boys can undergo a lot of pressure of doing things. For an example, jumping in water from high grounds and so on, because everyone else does it. So then you have to impress the girls, and that's one other kind of pressure that I think is quite important to talk about.
And appearance and clothing are also an important factor when it comes to this, because people often want to become friends with the ones that are good looking, the ones that have great clothes, lots of money, and those are like called superficial friends. Those friends are sort of not good for you, but since you're handsome and since you're have a good style of dressing, you sort of become more popular, just automatically. But if you don't dress well, if you look bad, your hair looks ugly, and so on, appearance, skin color, for example, people often want to stay away from that because they are like the uncool, the unpopular people. So, for example, though, if people see, if a people, teenagers see another boy with great styling, great hairstyle, good appearance, they immediately get the impression that he is popular. But if he has different skin color, his hair looks messy,
And cheap clothes. Yeah.
and bad appearance, and so on and so on, they get the impression that you're not popular at all.
Yeah.
You're lonely and you're not cool. So
Even if they really haven't
spoken to them or met them in
talked to
person,
yet.
but that's just first impression.
You get
Just-
stereotyped
that's
because
how
you get stereotyped by how much your
Yeah.
clothes cost
Yeah.
and how your appearance is.
That's why first impression is a bliss,
Yeah.
because then they automatically respect you if they have
Yeah.
If I get a good impression of you, I automatically respect you
Yeah.
because I think you're a disciplined guy, popular guy, but still I wouldn't be a true friend. I would be a superficial friend,
Yeah.
not a soulmate.
Yeah.
But then I also, for my good style and my good looks, I would then get rewarded with a good starting point with others.
Yeah, that's why good impression is important.
I think-
important.
Yeah.
I think also pull and popularity is also a very important part of this, because there are very many teenagers that want to do good at school and want good grades, whilst they also want to have want other people to like them, and they want more popularity at the same time as they get good grades and stuff. So when they it will give them a lot of pressure where they when they want to keep the popularity, at the same time as they good at school.
But I think many people prefer pressure as a bad sign, but I personally think that pressure is a good sign, because that way you are becoming more an adult and keeping certain responsibilities. But that's another topic. I don't want.
Well, I just can I just say my opinion about that.
Yeah,
I think a bit. I agree with you a bit, but I also disagree, because I think a bit of pressure
It's a good thing.
works well for your on your development and how you grow to be an adult. But also too much pressure can break you. I think that things that not bend, they will eventually break. So I think that pressure could also be one of the things that causes depression, because you need good grades, good clothing, good style. You need to look nice,
That's true.
and you need to be tough.
It will be hard.
In Japan, teenagers are committing suicide because they feel too much pressure,
Yeah,
and they get too much
it's
pressure.
really very much pressure, and the adults keep asking you when you're at a dinner and you were supposed to relax. They ask about your education, and you constantly get reminded on how much pressure you have upon your shoulders.
Yeah,
So I think that could also be one of the things that causes depression
yeah.
in the teen environment.
Of course, too much pressure is healthy for you, but having pressure,
Yeah.
like generally, makes you more disciplined. So I think a little bit of pressure,
I think it makes you move on all the time.
you become more of an adult, and you develop
Yeah.
more as an adult from
In some
being a
way.
child to facing certain to be able to face certain responsibilities and grow and grow and grow, and so on. That's different.
That's another discussion.
I
We
wa-
spent
I
a lot of
wanted-
time on this
I
one.
wanted to talk about likes on Facebook and followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
Because likes on Facebook are probably the main aspect of how popularity
Yeah.
works, because
People get to know you even when they haven't
Met you.
before.
yeah,
And they can make a good picture of you because
It's-
you have
yeah,
many
like-
likes.
if
and
you
look
have
good
many
at
likes
the
on your
picture.
profile
So-
picture, despite not meeting you, they get the impression that you're a popular guy, and
Yeah.
I want to meet
And
that
you
guy.
look nice.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's so concrete because you can really see with your own eyes how who are popular or not. When you see a number, you can see how popular they actually are,
And how many people they know.
which
And how many
also
friends they have.
is a really bad thing, I think.
Yeah, of course.
It could have a bad impact on those who don't know that many people and
Yeah.
have an awesome personality.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
me.
And while the and while
Like
the
you.
and while the popular fellows are not so friendly to you and
Yeah.
more of like arrogant people that think they're better than you.
Yeah, because I think too much confidence can make bad persons.
we
Yeah, that's
we have to end
another
this.
decision. Yeah, we have to end this now.
Og faen, 7 minutter, faen meg 18 minutter
Okay.
igjen.
26 minutes.
We'll
Okay.
see you at Thursdays.
Okay. Thank you very
Goodbye.
much. Goodbye.